This the jam. Yeah. 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 Get it. Get it. Get it. Shake it. Shake it. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm sorry. You don't have to shake nothing. If you want to shake something, you can. I'm sweaty. I just got off work. Sort of. I've been off work for a couple hours. I did go eat some food. A downpour happened on a bunch of families and children for 4th of July celebrations. And I'm not going to lie, I laughed with glee because that's who I am as a person. Thank you, y'all. Y'all. In 2014, I was in a motorcycle accident. I was a new rider, and therefore I did not have the abilities to both avoid the accident from the tractor trailer that pulled out in front of me and not crash my bike. I was going approximately 40 to 45 miles an hour. I flew off the bike, and I did the only thing that I could think to do, which was hop up and put both my arms out. Helmet still on, because I am telling you right now, I would not be talking to you if I wasn't wearing a helmet, because I really did hit the sweet soft spot in the back of my head. If I still had the photos of where the helmet hit and the crack in the helmet, you would know, like, I would not be here today. I would just be splattered on the pavement. Gross imagery, but true nonetheless. I stood there, arms out. It was another record hot day in Texas, in confusion. How did I get here? Why am I not on my bike? Who am I? And then I saw Colleen Ballinger's ukulele apology. And I told you that story because literally I haven't felt that way since I watched that video. I have seen this video multitudes of times. in varying different fashions. And I've got to say, I have never seen anything like that. Now, as a rule, I do not, absolutely do not cover anything having to do with children, SA, like all of that kind of stuff. I don't cover that because it's not my cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? I get triggered by those things, and I don't get like regularly triggered. I get triggered in ways that I'm not anticipating happening. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just minding my business and I'm like, oh no, it's gone bad. Y'all, I've literally never seen anything like this in my life. In my life, in my spirit. I can't imagine what kind of insanity. And I don't mean that as hyperbole. I literally mean insane. As someone who has had moments where I'm not entirely sure I'm here, I have come off of Clonopin on my own before. I've talked about this. I was hallucinating sounds. I think I would have rather had that experience than watching this video. Now, we're not going to react to it because honestly, everybody and their mom has. It is a thing. Listen, as Nick is not green or green is not Nick said, this is a thing of honestly it's kind of beauty. Because how could you be more unserious? There's when you have serious allegations against you, you chose to go the most unserious route that you could possibly go. And you were like, no, no, no. I'm going to bust out my ukulele and everything's going to be fine. As a good friend of mine said, this she talks about a team and lawyers, and I feel that none of those things exist. Because if I had a team and I was accused of the things that she is accused of, my team would not allow me in any shape or form to bring out a ukulele and begin strumming that song. It was, I have literally, yeah, the come downs from the Klonopin are not great. It's not a great time. It is a terrible time. And the way I did it, I would never suggest anybody do that under literally any circumstances. It was a terrible idea. It was a bad idea and one I unfortunately had. Don't do that. I feel like there is something that we need to talk about with regards to this apology. And I don't know if anybody else has talked about it yet, but I wanted to. We are now at this odd precipice of seeing what happens when YouTube has been your career for 10 years or more, right? We're really beginning to see and especially and specifically before YouTube was a career, right? James Charles doesn't count. I know people want to say so, but he doesn't count because he got in on the game when the game was the game. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm talking about like even iDubbbz, like these people who were doing YouTube when it was the wild, wild west, and you were just doing whatever you wanted, and there was no money, there was no monetization. You were just like doing shit. This apology and subsequent and previous apologies are proving that this job, I have said this before. One of the reasons that I don't want YouTube, like I used to really think that I wanted to be a content creator as my job, mostly because I am autistic and I have ADHD. I have a lot of body problems. My body is hateful. I'm about to probably I'm going to take a nap, maybe hop on Twitch and do a fundraiser to get more freaking shoes for my weird autistic feet. But because I need new shoes all the time and it's getting costly for my job. I'm just like, if I just need another pair of shoes so that I can stand. The point is, these wild, wild west people who were on YouTube before it was a monetized platform, we're seeing a reckoning. Hi, Janet. There is a reckoning of what once was. And as I have said multiple times, and many other creators before me have said this, I find it weird how many white creators will not only excuse, I'm looking at you, Penguin Zero Most Critical Charlie, that kind of behavior from the past with it was an edgier time, but like also had a racist past. I don't understand it. I also am beginning to feel like there are a lot of predators on this platform. Yo, I watched The Right Opinion or I listened to The Right Opinion quite a bit. Cadence is I love his cadence. It is such that it's like easy to listen to, very digestible. I can tell when things are serious and when he's just like talking about something else. Very good cadence and it's very calming and it's nice. Anyway, but between him and Cruel World, Happy Mind, and a few other folks, like there are a lot of predators on this platform. And I really like I have to wonder how we got here, right? How did we get to the point of like Wild Wild West fart jokes and pranks, which I hate pranks. I will always hate pranks. I'm never going to not hate a prank. I think that pranks are mean. I especially hate staged pranks because those are even worse because now you're like pretending that things are happening and you're not even doing a good job of that. And that's really annoying. Like I don't like all those couple channels where they're like, we're pranking each other. And I'm like, you're not though. We know it's staged. That's it. This feels like America's Funniest Home Videos. It just I yeah, listen. A lot of these people will quite literally break their backs and break their necks. And here's the thing. This is what I need people to pay attention to and to get your red flags up for. Because the people who are excusing inexcusable behavior don't watch their content anymore. Get away from them. Get away from them. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. Because I that's the thing, Leisha. That's why. Pretending to care so much about all and then he's I literally I can't that's the other thing that I'm really paying attention to is how people respond to this because there's no world. There is I am a 43-year-old person. There is literally no world in which I am handling anyone, let alone minors, in any kind of weird way. I'm not like I barely. And people who are in my Patreon and my channel memberships, I barely answer my IG DMs. I find it overwhelming and stressful. It's not out of hate. It's just like literally I find it stressful. I barely answer those, let alone have time to be a freaking weirdo groomer creep to young people. Like, girl, and she's acting as if the things that she did were when she was like youngish. But it's like, you were, I think T put this in perspective for me. You were 31 when this was happening. So it's not like you were young and stupid. Weird way to put your song together. And then she talked about how she was the weird aunt. And I was like, girl, do you not know what the weird aunt is? In many cultures, the weird aunt and the weird uncle are the ones everyone stays away from. Everyone knows that. Why did you compare yourself to them? You're not helping your case. Like I thought it was very weird because as I heard that and I was like, girl, I know you didn't just call yourself the weird aunt. That's like an admission of guilt in my eyes. I'm sorry. That's an admission of guilt in my culture. The weird uncle is the one that everyone knows. You instead of reporting them, my family should, for reasons they just don't allow kids to be by him. You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. And this is the top. Okay. So channel members and patrons, hopefully we will see. I've been really trying to get this done, but it's been so damn hot. I've literally been sleeping almost all of the time. I woke up for a smidgen of time to meet my dear friends in person. If y'all have not seen it on the IG, I met M of Imperfectly M in person and Thorn. Oh my god, they are stunning. IRL stunning. And you know, one of the first things that M said to me, M goes, "Your skin is flawless." I was like, "Well, now tell everybody that it's real and it's not a filter." Anyways, like I don't understand that her saying her friends are the like I don't get that because like I've never lived my life like that. Like I I am childish and I do a lot of childlike things, but I'm still not, chilling with a 12-year-old. Like I don't it's weird. Thank you. Thank you. Right? Everyone knows not to leave your kids with a weird uncle. Thank you. Yeah, I just listen. The youth are very exhausting. I don't understand this because I can literally from behind, I can see someone walking from behind and I know that they are a teenager. This is why and it doesn't matter what their gender is, I can clearly tell from afar in my vehicle just seeing them walk. This is why I don't believe any of the crap that predators say with "Oh, they look grown." I'm like, "No, they don't. No, they don't. I'm so sorry. I hate to tell you this. They do not. They walk weird. They're kind of floppy. Even the girls are floppy and weird. They're trying to gain confidence. They're moving their bodies weird. It's a whole situation. Boys are all blah 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 blah. Like their bodies don't even coordinate right. You cannot tell me that you can't see that. I can literally look at them and be like, they may be world class gymnasts and great at their sport, but when they walk, baby, it's like watching a baby deer. It's awkward. Like I can't fathom how you can tell me that you can't tell because I'm like, no, their arms aren't even moving right. Their legs are doing their feet are flipping and flop. It's like a whole situation. I cannot thank you. I don't understand. And I don't understand her trying to say that it's PG-13. I But if it's PG-13, then how come you're talking to anybody younger? It's just very weird. It's a very weird thing to do, and it's really just showing me, within YouTube, the parasocial relationship is way, way fucked off, and I'm gonna get into it in more detail in another video, but I do wanna talk about just briefly, the thing about YouTube is it's not just parasocial because the definition of parasocial this is beyond parasocial. I don't know a term for it. Like maybe it's a double blind parasocial. I'm not sure. I haven't figured that out yet. But the relationship between a YouTuber and their audience is not simply parasocial. And that's why I get really upset that people say this because it is not. Because there are people right now in this chat who I chat with back and forth. It's not one where they talk to me and I never talk back. There are people in comments that I see regularly and I speak back to them. So it's not just a parasocial relationship in the fact that and it doesn't matter the size of the creator because even really large creators have that same thing, right? There are people that they constantly see in their comments who always comment, right? And there are people if I don't see them in my comments, I'm disappointed that I didn't see them there. Like I'm legitimately disappointed if I don't see them there. Like there's somebody, Tiffany, I think Stolig. If I don't see them in the comments, I'm like, oh, they must be having a rough day or like whatever. Or maybe they didn't see the video. Dark Angel is another one. Like there are people that I expect to see in my comments all the time. Janessa, I expect to see at least every other video because Janessa has things. Janessa has things. Confessions of a Jaded Optimist, I see on multiple platforms of mine. There are quite literally people where if I don't see you, I'm like, what did I do? Are you mad? Are you okay? I hope you're doing all right. How's your fam? So this, I think, lends itself to far more danger than I think any of us really gave it credit for. Because if you click back on like even iDubbbz and his apology and him really diving into the way in which people approached him and treated his wife publicly and online, where he began to realize that, like, this is affecting my life. Like, this is not what I want people to think of me as. Regardless of how you feel about his apology, it came out in real life where he began to realize, like, this shit is following me. And like that's why I have mad respect for that apology because he did not have to do that. He could have just done what a lot of people do and just like Shane Dawson, pretend like that stuff doesn't exist, Shane Dawson, and just like move on and act like they didn't do those things. But he realized that these things had negatively not only impacted other people, but were negatively impacting his real life and was like, I really can't keep going without addressing this because if I don't address it, these people are still going to see me in public and act like this. And I don't want that. That's not what I'm interested in. I have grown up. I have a wife. I have all these things. And I don't really like this isn't the legacy that I want to leave behind. I it's not really like I mean, yes, I'm not going to accept or not accept the apology because I never watched iDubbbz and so it's not really my apology to accept in that regard. Like I know that he said some really really fucked up stuff, but like I also wasn't his audience. And again, that's not me excusing it. I was never watching it. So I'm not going to like be like, "Oh, I accept this apology" because like how can I never watched it. It's dumb. Like to me that's dumb. Like I wouldn't, I find it ridiculous sometimes when people get like that because I'm just like, I wasn't his audience, so I can't. I like I've heard of the things that he's done, and I didn't like that, but I also never followed him as a creator, so I really I honestly don't give a shit about what he does. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I don't I, like don't cancel me, but I don't give a shit what he does because I never gave a shit what he did. Do you see what I'm saying? But like this is really starting to beg the question of when you put together your internet presence. I am such a glowy bitch right now. Like look how like I this is like the day's sweat on my face. Anyways, but it's really starting to show that if YouTube or content creation is something you want to do, you are quite literally going to have to be monitoring. Like parents, right now, if you have a child who is like, I want to be a content creator, you are quite literally going to have to monitor every ounce of what they do to be like, listen, this shit is forever. The internet is forever. It will never go away. So you really, really need to be careful about who you're being right now because if content creation is what you want, then these things that you're doing are going to negatively impact that. Not only that, but the reality of how it's going to impact your everyday life as a content creator. Like you do this content creation, but every day people see you as something, as some they have some value or something affixed or attached to you, right? And you don't have any control over that. In that regard, that does hit the parasocial. Like I have no control over how what value people affix to me, right? I cannot do anything about that. I have no way of, telling people like how you should feel about me. That's like on you. If you put more stock in me than I would expect you to, there's nothing I can really do about that, right? Because like I could be like, no, I'm just a regular ass person. I burp, I fart, and I have oily skin days. And sometimes I pass gas in the shower. And because it's a hot shower, it really is funkier than it should be. And it's untoward. You can't breathe. And you're just like having to open the shower curtain and just like out the side. And then someone else will be like, but that's so relatable. That's just like me. And I'll be like, oh, I'm trying to be me. So like, it really is like really scary. Yeah, Feffy, it goes back to they're like me and they're my friend. It's still parasocial, but there's another level. The fact that I had to discuss this with my 14-year-old sister. Oh my gosh. Why do we give these parents a pass? One of the parents drove the kid to see this woman and waited across the street while they met. Ugh. Ugh. Yikes. So, Leisha Than Thou said, I think the tricky part of parents' involvement is teens have that way of being sneaky and secretive. Both Adam and Johnny have talked about how they had secret Twitters, etc., so their parents didn't find them. Here's the thing, though. I'm going to tell you a thing. Like, me and my mother are very close. We had a falling out a long time ago, very, very long ago, like when I was probably 19. And that's since been patched up. But my mother and I have always been very close because my mother always talked to me. She never hid things from me. Things weren't a surprise, right? Like if I asked her what something was, she told me. If I heard a word and I was like, "Mommy, what's this?" she would tell me what that was. So I learned that I learned early, my mom wasn't going to lie to me. My mom was a place that I could actually go to get information. So I wasn't good at lying her to her, and thus I'm not a good liar now because we had a very good relationship. I think that there are a lot of parents who don't have that relationship with their kids. And I'm not a parent, so I can't tell you why you don't have it, but I'm going to tell you as a child who grew up and had that, I'm going to say that you may not be talking to your child. Like you may not be giving them the space that you think that you're giving them to have real conversations with you. And I think a lot of parents really have to stop and think about why that is. Because there's a lot of parents out there who never stop and think about why it is that their kid isn't talking to them. Like, you gotta, there's something in there. I'm gonna like just I parents are gonna come out of the woodworks being like, you don't know. I know. Because I refuse to do that. It's just not my calling. Okay. Speaking of not my calling, y'all, I do wait, hold on before I get there. Danae said, listen, if someone is asking you to use a secret method to talk to them, you probably shouldn't be talking to them. Period. And I grew up in the age of AOL. That's when I started to realize like I need to probably stop talking to this person because if I freak out that my mom's coming into the room, then I don't need to be having these conversations. I'll very quickly quit doing it. As a teen, I didn't think my parents got it, and I'm sure that is a norm. People who pretend they do get it would have got me. Exactly. Listen, I am very lucky that, let me just say this. I'm very lucky that I was with my high school choir on the trip to England because I'm pretty sure a predator was going to nab me up. I am not a smart person. Well, I wasn't. I was young and stupid. The point is, I met some random 30-something-year-old man on a choir trip when I was 16. Anyways, luckily all of my like literally all of the choir, like the chaperones were like on high alert the minute that man walked up. They're like, who the fuck is this man? Audra, who's that? I'm like, this is my friend Charles. Like, Jesus Christ. I wish I'm laughing now, right? Because I'm here to tell the tale and nothing bad happened. But y'all, it was a rough time. And after that, I was like, you know what? I need to stop keeping secrets from my mom. I'm so serious. Sorry, but as someone who has always been older than other people in fandoms with me, I can't imagine going to hang out with a kid like Kiki about our OTP. All we want, but we're not friends. I'm grown. Thank you. Yes. And that's the thing. A lot of parents do try to come off as perfect for their kids. And it's like, don't, perfection isn't what your children need. I'm so sorry. They don't need perfection. They need you to be a human being. Dark Angel, I had the same relationship with my mom. My sister's also raising her kids the same way. Both my sister and I tell my nieces to ask us anything. Yeah, I think that that's true. Like, I just feel like, oh, that's awesome. Wait, my daughter was 15 and I let her go to a Chance concert and waited across the street from the venue. He actually knew her though, and he and I had an understanding. Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of the thing. I feel like this whole situation was weird and it's whack. I'm not like ever gonna go into like mad detail because listen, honestly, when you see that video, it like does something to your brain chemistry. Like, listen, the song is catchy. It makes me feel terrible, but it's a catchy tune. What do you want from me? It is a very catchy song. It's like and her voice is kind of nice, but if she weren't doing these things. So, do y'all hear Bo licking my elbow? Because he is. Because I'm salty. Because it was really hot today. I got a little sun sick earlier than like there's finally cloud cover near the end. I thought I was gonna throw up, to be honest. I really thought I was gonna throw up. I was like, this is getting to be too much. It got hot enough to where I was just like, because I was wrong. It got to the heat, and it wasn't great. Once it got to the heat, it was not. It wasn't like I was like, oh, maybe I do need that humidity back, just a smidgen of it, because this is just like my skin is crinkling. It's like crackling, and the sun is beating me up. And then I got some cloud cover at the last end of my route, and then I instantly started to feel better. So sun sick. Now, here's the thing that not a lot of people care about, but I care about because I'm a Twitch streamer, and I'm going to talk about it. So Kick, the streaming platform, not KIK, the creepy messaging platform. The difference between the two isn't much actually at this point, but I'm going to get in trouble for that. I don't want to admit how many times I've been like, all aboard. Please, I'm so sorry, but I can't not like listen. So here's the thing, just like with James Charles, a lot of these issues is burden of proof. And that's where it always comes down. And it depends on the laws in the state also, because parents can press charges. Sometimes the state can. It really just depends. But they have to have like concrete proof. It is the reason why was it To Catch a Predator? Was that the show with Chris Hansen? He'd be like, I'm Chris Hansen. It's a big reason why that was a terrible thing in a lot of ways, most ways, because the way in which they were attempting to catch predators are not ways that police would do so. Especially and specifically for predators and online stuff, you have to make the other person, and really just in general, you have to make the other person say the things. You have to make the other person be the one doing the stuff, because that's why entrapment exists, right? So a lot of what they were doing wasn't above board, and so like a lot of those guys ended up going free. So it just doesn't. That's why, like you have to, you quite literally, like you have to follow the law when you're like doing these kinds of things and catching these kinds of people, and until they have hard evidence. I'm sorry that I said hard in this conversation, but they actually have to have like hard evidence with all of the stuff. Like I think Adam might have a case, but he may have missed the statute of limitations. I am not sure because I don't know what they are. But like that's the other thing, is a lot of times the statute ends up passing, and so there's nothing that anybody can do at that point. It really sucks and it's terrible, but the hope is that people realize that these people are predators at the very least, and continue to look at Colleen as the weird aunt and don't let your children buy her. But back into Kick, KICK, not KIK, the creepy messenger app, which isn't that far from what we're doing. So if you are into streaming podcasts or games, which I love to play games, if you haven't seen it, Kick has been making some huge ass moves. They have been like, they have Aiden Ross. They also have XQC. I don't know. He's another mediocre white man. Never heard of him, but until they started talking about him here, they're like, he is so big. I'm like, mediocre. It's fine. But XQC had a deal that is bigger than LeBron James, and it's non-exclusive. And now Destiny has a deal. I also don't like Destiny. I don't like him either. Like he has like good takes from time to time, but I don't know. There's something about him I find, where I gotta squint at him and be like, "You're saying the right thing. But something about it feels weird." So the whole thing, the real issue with Kick, in case y'all didn't know, I hear Bo doing something. Give me 1 second because, like, I don't know what he's doing. Hold on. Sorry. I had to. Yeah. See, I knew something. Thank you, Leisha. Alicia's on it. I just there's always been a thing that I don't really like about Destiny. Um I don't really enjoy the whole debate bro situation. Feek the Signifier, FD Signifier has put up a video about that and talked about it. I don't enjoy it because I don't really like debate. I I think that debate in general is just for two people to puff up and have an argument of yelling and trying desperately to make another person look stupid, which isn't a conversation and it's not solving anything. Like that's why I don't like debate because nothing is ever getting solved. It's just like trying to make the other person look stupid and trying to own the other person. But the deal here is that the issue with Kick, the reason why people have so many problems with it. Oops, sorry, I have to like get off of that now. My back hurts. I'm like moving, like my back hurts, and I'm elderly. But the issue with Kick is that they are backed by gambling, and for those of you that don't really understand like the logic of how and why gambling is one of the most dangerous addictions, I look at it like a bathtub full of water, right? You have a bathtub full of water and you're very excited to take your bath. But then somebody is like, hey, if you take a little bit of the water out and put it over here, you like might get more water and you might get like some suds and like cool things with it. And you're like, cool. So you get a bucket and you like take your water out and you're like, cool. And you go over to use it. But nobody really explains to you exactly how that works. And you take the bucket out and you're like, oh, well, now I'm down a little bit of water and I didn't get really any suds. And they're like, yeah, why don't you still get some more water from the tub? And you're like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And so you go and you get more water out of the tub. But when you're bringing the bucket back, there's now like a hole in this bucket and you're just losing money. The premise of gambling is very much that you are on this constant, it's not even the winning. I feel like people always think it's just like the winning. It's not just the winning, it's trying to chase that money that you lost. The break evenness of it all is what makes it so addictive for a lot of people. I don't know if addictive is a word. I've gotten in trouble for that before, but you know what? There's also a guy who says that if you use a word however you want to use it, then it becomes like a word that everybody uses the way that they want to use it. So that's fine. Addictive. It becomes very much addictive in that regard. And the reason that that happens, again, is if you spent $5 and you won $2, you're down $3. Your goal is like, I just want to get my $3 back. So you spend two more dollars and you lose $3. So now you're like, oh, well, I need to get this $8 back. Do you see? And you keep falling into this hole of trying to get this money back that you lost. And like the lovely Mary said, it's a hit of dopamine and it's totally an addiction. Yes, because when you do win, you get so like, there's this like, and it's a rush unlike any you've ever known, right? Thank you. And you just keep trying to like, the real core of it that I've noticed is like just the break evenness. Um, just from doing a little bit of research, not a ton, because like research doesn't like make me happy for a lot of things. But doing some of the research that I did, it's the break evenness that really, it's not even chasing the high of winning, it's just trying to win back what you lost. And that's what really messes people up because what they end up trying to do is just break even. You spend $100, you just want to get the $100 back. And chasing, it's a dragon that you're chasing. You're just trying to like make it back to where you're even again. And most of the time, people are spending money that they do not have trying to get even. And that is where it really gets bad. But like, that is the problem with Kick is that they are backed by gambling. And a lot of these people that they're signing have some young audiences. And these young audiences are getting hit with like ads of gambling. And they're also getting hit with it being on the first page. I think Nick is Not Green or Green is Not Nick has a really good video breaking down the situation with Kick. And like I can say that on YouTube. I can be like, yeah, I share the platform with a lot of like not cool people, a lot of unsavory folks, right? But at the same time, YouTube is not advocating gambling for children, right? Like they're not advocating gambling in any way, shape, or form. And I am going to be very specific in saying like gambling for children and gaming for children, like these kinds of things, because we all know that now that basically your phone connects you to everything, a lot of us are paying, like, listen, we all have our little game that we play, our little mobile game. Every so often you spend $20 on it. And then sometimes when you're not paying attention, for those of you who have children, you know, they be spending your money. And you turn around, you're like, how did you do that? And then you have to do all these things to like lock them out of being able to spend money. Yes, bigots and backbiting. And like literally they are at this point, like I feel like they've shown the Super Bowl, they're showing movies, they're like doing whatever they want over there. It's wild. Because there's really not any rules. And my thing is this, I've said this to M, and I will say it out loud here. If you want to go over to Kick because there is a bigger split, they have a 95-5 split, which is larger than any platform. YouTube is 70-30, Twitch is 50-50. Like Kick is offering 95% to the streamer and 5% like is what they keep. I just say that. Just say it. Like this has been my problem with most influencers for a long time is like their refusal to admit that they're doing a thing for money. Just admit it and we'll all be happy. Everyone can be happy. Stop lying. Like stop lying. It's so irritating to all of us. Just stop lying. Just say you did it for the money. I did it all for the nookie. Come on. Like just say it. I'm not going to think less of you. But also, the other thing about Kick, sorry, Angie. The other thing about it is like the people that they're signing, all male, all what I would consider mostly mediocre white men who do like trash content. No offense, all offense. Um, very few like there's no, it's just like homogenous white guys who are all like, hey, what can I do that's gonna offend you? I'm offensive. I'm an offensive asshole. Yeah. Do you think that women should even be allowed to like breathe? I don't think so, bro. Women breathing? Gross. Did you know women sometimes have jobs of their own and make their own money? Disgusting. They should be in the house doing nothing but making me dinner and popping out my kids. Like that's literally who they have over there. Yeah. So kick is just like it's where you send the yeah, bros. Uh, another white boy with a podcast. Like, yeah, it really it's Her Majesty, I bet you they do. I bet you they do. Yeah, yeah. Like, also, speaking of podcasts, I've got like 15 more minutes before I'm gonna go lay down for like 3 hours, and I'll be up at some weird hour playing playing Breakpoint on Twitch. Here's what I want to say about Just Pearly Things. She is rage baiting, and it's taking its toll on her because look at her. Now, I'm not saying that she's ugly. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she's starting to look a little haggard, a little worn thin of her charade. That's right. I said charade because I'm British for this part. Like I like it, the whole thing is very odd. I like that's who they have over there. But the Just Pearly Things, first of all, like everybody who responds to her and does videos, again, this is like a cycle that we all can't stop, and we keep trying to stop it, but we can't stop it. But like y'all, Just Pearly Things is rage farming. And rage farming is the best, easiest way to create a fan base very quickly and become monetized. It really, really is. If I had an entire channel where I just like did weird, ragey bullshit, listen, all I have to do is be black, which I already am, and then act like Candace Owens. Do you understand like the power that that has? So much, right? Because I'm going to get a mostly white audience who's like, yeah, we don't like them blacks acting like that. I'm going to get them, right? And like, they more of them need to act like you. We need more of them to be like you. Why can't you train them? What? So, but I would have a huge audience quick, right? It's very easy. It's very fast. That's the point in you doing these kinds of things because you don't have to do all of the work or the research. Like a lot of the commentary leftists do a lot of research. They do a lot of like they look into this stuff. They have sources, bitch. They have sources. But when you're just pearly things, you just say stuff. And then of all people you get destroyed by, Ethan Klein. Listen, I know, but I don't feel like he's like the smartest man. I'm sorry. Like I know if you're an Ethan Klein fan, like good for you. All I'm saying is I don't think he's that smart. Right quick. I am very annoyed by that line. I got very irritated by it, much like I was irritated by the fact that the weekend is only one person and not like a group because like Fatboy Slim is a person and Daft Punk does seem like it's multiple people because it's like Daft. And even though punk is like by itself, but punk is one of those words that can be both plural and singular, even when you just use punk. This is making me sound like a nerd. I don't care. We're here now. I'm really annoyed that she didn't say ass. I get like that's still PG-13, bitch. Fucking liar. I'm done. But oh, I'm so glad you got to catch a live. But like real talk, the whole thing, bless you, baby bear. The whole thing with Just Pearly Things is like she's looking a little haggard from trying to keep up this act. Like she looks really tired from pretending. You know what I mean? From like being like, uh, I don't think that women are victims of abuse. Like she's over there like making horse noises at this point, like you know, like she's gonna do the thing, and I think we should just let her because like Andrew Tate left a vacuum because nobody's gonna believe his bald ass anymore. I'm sorry, I should have made fun of the fact that he's bald, but I, he's not even like bald. He's like got that middle bald, like he's got hair on the sides, and he's like, I'm an alpha male, bitch. Please. my God, I'm so sorry. I did not know that that was going to crack me up like that. But I'm just saying. Uh, she is 26. Yeah. She's looking a little rough for that 26. And I'm going to say this. I'm not saying that she's ugly. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not attacking her looks. I'm saying that she is looking rough currently because I think that playing this game of rage baiting is wearing her down. I do think that it takes a toll on you to be a character and a caricature of who you are to make money, right? Like if I had to play the game where I had to pretend to be a Candace Owens, almost another word that was going to get me in trouble, but I had to pretend to be a Candace Owens, right? There is a level that like I don't have that, right? Especially the more popular you get, the more people are going to want you on their podcast, going to want to do interviews, and I feel like it gets tiresome playing that character. Just pearly things. Just pearly things. I think that there is a level of like exhaustion of having to maintain that level of cuckoo cuckoo. Like, and the good news is I don't think we'll be giving her any more traction because Twitter is burned to the ground. Okay. Twitter has burned to the ground. Elon Musk finally did it. He has burned Twitter to the ground because you can't really Twitter. And the thing is, like, once you block like the majority of the blue checks, which are the verified, I'm gonna put that in quotes. Like, I'm gonna put verified in quotes because if you're paying for it, you're not really verified. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying you're paying $8. Anyways, so listen, I see her showing up ever so often, and she's just like, she says wild, dangerous shit. Let me be honest about that. She does say some wild, dangerous shit. She's 26 and she'll say shit about how like women are better looking, 25 and under. And like, listen, she's just out here rage farming. She's just really like, she's trying to fill the Andrew Tate shoes because Aiden Ross didn't do it. Sneeko went a little too like cuckoo cuckoo for all of us. To be able to, because the thing about Andrew Tate was like he was calm. Do you know what I mean? Like he was usually mostly calm. Like he would get like upset or whatever, but when he was talking about like on his own shit, talking about his shit, he was mostly calm. Sneeko like freaks out and starts screaming. Aiden Ross has like he freaks out and starts screaming. The whole like red pill community. This is like she is the last dying breath of the red pill community. And like we're gonna eventually have to have a conversation, live chat as to what in the world is happening with heteros. What is going on with y'all? Because men and women are not getting along. I say this as if I don't ever date men. Like I am pan, and even I'm like, I exclude men from my dating pool, period. Like I'm not even doing it. But I I just a lot of people stay on Twitter, but Twitter has like just bangers. But you have to be like, listen, you have to cultivate your Twitter. And I've said this before. And if you don't have the patience for it, I understand that. But you had to cultivate your Twitter to have like a good Twitter experience. But if you didn't cultivate it because it takes some time, then you're going to be like over there seeing like Jalopity Staircase talking about yak meat and his shitty makeup. Do you know what I mean? The straights are really not okay. Like I don't know what's happening. I feel like that should be the next the next live stream should just be titled "The Straights Are Not Okay." And we need to talk about what's happening because there's so many different things. We are going to do that. We are definitely going to do that because there's so many things we need to chat about with like what is happening it's getting wild. It's getting freaky. Men are off the rails. Yeah, you listen. I didn't know who Colleen Ballinger was. I had no idea. I don't even know who her like. She has m- 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 something sings. Miranda sings. She has a an alias of Miranda sings. Never heard of that either. Because again, I don't have children because I don't like them. Right. In conclusion, to quote Nick is not green, green is not Nick. We watched YouTube history. There, I thought that that interpretive dance apology was bad. I thought Tati crying for, I believe, like just I feel like there's 14 minutes of her crying in this. It's ridiculous. I thought that was bad. I I thought Lara Lee. I wonder if she's upset that she lost the crown because like nobody likes to lose. Is she upset? But I thought that she was gonna. This will live on in infamy. This will literally live on in because I've never seen anything as unhinged and unserious as this. Like, just like imagine, could y'all imagine if somebody was accusing me of some shit like this and I was like, hold up, let me put together a mash for you. And I just like mash two songs together like a DJ and I spin it. I'm just like, "Brr, brr, brr," because I want you to know that I'm very serious about this shit. Like, what? Here's the thing. I don't think she feels invincible. I think that she is I think she thought it was gonna work. I think she thought it was gonna work. I think that she really thought I'm going to write this song. I am going to record it. That I'm gonna put it up here and everybody's gonna think I am clever and also I'm hurt by how you're treating me. That would literally be those are gonna be the new apologies. They're like, listen, I know a lot of you like listen, that's gonna be Logan Paul because Logan Paul still hasn't paid back all them people he scammed. We're gonna have to talk about that next time because I need to like go rest because it was hot. But this is gonna be Logan Paul. Listen, I'm sorry that I scammed all y'all. Go check out my SoundCloud. I'll talk about it there. I promise. That freaked me out. That actually did freak. I was like, Carol, first of all, you're not a good actress. Just want you to know that. Well, yeah, I feel like we're about to really start seeing some wild shit. I feel like the next 2 years is gonna be some wild shit happening on YouTube. People who've been on the platform just a little bit too long. Just like a smidgen too long. And all the shit is just finally starting to hit the fan. It's starting to catch up with them. We're all just gonna be looking at them like, ooh. So I feel like that is all we're gonna do today. Subscribe and hit the notifications because I do pop up live just like randomly because I'm as a person. I'm a monster. We'll talk about all kinds of things. If you have any ideas or have things that you want to chat about in these, drop them in the comments. So, because I read those and we have conversations back and forth that way. Sorry, I'm burping at the same time. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm belching. And yeah, I feel like this was a nice time. Like, I don't know if I don't, listen, sometimes once in a while, listen, I'll have a video, okay? And then other times I won't. That's literally all I can say. Like sometimes I'll have it and then sometimes I won't. I do a lot of streaming, especially during the summer, because it gets real hot. And trying to like film in this is kind of nightmarish. So I hope to see y'all in the next one for the next hour long live stream. Maybe if I'm feeling froggy, we can do a longer one on the next go round, maybe an hour and a half. But, thank y'all for chilling. Thank all of you who made it for your first one. Alicia, nice to see you. Her Majesty, it was good that you could make it. See, this is how I get to know y'all in live chat. So I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the 4th for whatever it is that you do. Mostly, I'm just going to sleep. All right, y'all. I'll see you next time. Peace.